The ability to persuade and influence people is one of the most important skills you can develop. By becoming more influential, you achieve greater personal power and get more of the things you want faster than anything else. Never underestimate it, brothers. It can mean the difference between success and failure. It guarantees progress and enables you to use your other skills and abilities at the highest level. Many don't realize it, but as you become a beacon of influence in your surroundings, you automatically earn the support and respect of your friends, lovers, colleagues, and even bosses. It makes you one of the most important figures in your community. The way I see it, the key to a man's success is by becoming absolutely proficient at motivating others to support and assist you in your goals and the solving of your problems. You can either persuade others to assist in your journey or be persuaded to help in theirs. It is one or the other. Most are not aware that every human interaction involves a complex, subliminal process of persuasion and influence, and being unaware, they're usually the ones being persuaded to help others rather than getting others to help them in their goals. Now that you know its importance, let's dive into what you can do to become a more influential, a more persuasive man. 1. Social proof majority of us are imitators in most of what we do. We look to others for guidance, especially when we are uncertain about something. We ask, what do others think about this? What do others feel? What do others do? Then we act accordingly, all thanks to the power of social proof. If you're naturally influential, you know how to make this human tendency work for you. There aren't some times you should try making a good impression. You should be doing that the entire day, in even the most minor instances which you think makes no difference, like greeting a janitor kindly. Imagine you make this a habit. In a couple years, your reputation and relationship with everyone would have transformed 180 degrees. The same is applied to when you're trying to get your dream job or selling a product. Your target demographic should have noticed the buzz around you or your product from people around them. That's the social proof they don't just want, but require to trust you out of the millions in the world. 2, master the art of silence and pause in communication. Silence makes many people uncomfortable. There is no denying that. For a lot of people, silence is so powerful that they cannot resist filling it. Filling the void for them almost becomes second nature. Naturally, influential people are aware of the effect silence has on people and use it as a persuasive tool in everyday conversation. From a strategic perspective, they understand that whoever fills the void of silence is more likely to disclose too much information, give clues to the influencer, or even make a mistake that favors the listener. From a less calculated perspective, people who aren't afraid of silence, who are deliberate and calm in their actions and conversations, elicit a feeling of control and confidence. The bottom line here is that silence is powerful, and if you want to learn how to persuade people without needing to try too hard, mastering the art of silence should be at the top of your priority list. 3, master the art of mirroring to establish subconscious agreement. One of the quickest and easiest ways to establish a position of influence with an individual is mirroring. Mirroring is the act of copying a person's body language, tone, volume, and rate of speech. It's essentially just reflecting the other person's behavior back to them like a mirror reflects an image. If you find that hard to believe, then hear this. According to multiple studies, the act of mirroring one's behavior showed a noticeable increase in social influence over the person they were mimicking. When practicing, try to wait 5 to 10 seconds before attempting to mirror someone's stance in order to not appear too obvious. In some cases, mirroring might backfire if it's a highly negative posture like crossing both your arms and your legs or turning your upper body away from them, so be careful in those instances. 4, encourage people to talk about themselves. People love talking about themselves. A study found that around 45% of our speech is focused solely on ourselves. When people talk about themselves, their brain shows signs of activity in the areas of the brain linked to motivation and value. That same area of the brain is also associated with the thrills of intimacy, money, food, and drug use. When you are meeting someone new, the best way to establish rapport is to encourage them to do what they already want to do. Talk about themselves. Start with some small talk, but then ask some meaningful questions and really listen to the answer. Some people are quiet or passive and let others do the talking because they aren't confident or simply have nothing to say. This, of course, is not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is an intentional activity. By encouraging others to speak about themselves, you can naturally make them gravitate towards you, regardless of the context. This might be harder to achieve if you're naturally talkative, but it's a skill you must master if you aspire to be influential. 5, surround yourself with other influential people. As Jim Rohn, the successful entrepreneur, said, you are the average of the 5 people you most associate with. This saying aligns with the law of averages, which is a theory that the result of any given situation will be the average of all outcomes. While on a daily basis, we may interact with lots of people, in reality, very few of them have a great impact on us. Very few people actually influence our decisions or the way we think. They understand the value of connecting with other successful personalities. As the saying goes, are you a connector? We all get to choose who we spend our time with. And one of the best ways to become naturally influential is to spend time around naturally influential people. 6, give something before you ask for anything. You're probably familiar with the concept of reciprocity. When you give someone something, it encourages them to return the favor and give something to you as well. This concept can be used to make you a naturally influential person in every context. The key is simply to be a generous person. What you are generous with is up to you. It could be your time, it could be your money, it could be your influence. You're thinking of people who have given a lot to you personally, and the reality is that in a world of increasingly isolated people, the threshold for what consists of personal generosity gets lower and lower. If you're skeptical, go ahead and run an experiment. Spend a month going out of your way to be generous and see what types of doors it opens and relationships it builds. Lastly, 7, understand the difference between persuasion and negotiation. Persuasion and negotiation are often thrown into the same category. This is a mistake. Negotiation and persuasion are nearly exact opposites, and knowing the difference can naturally make you more persuasive. Negotiation involves getting straight to the point and often includes making concessions to the point where both parties have a similar benefit. Persuasion, on the other hand, is slow and subtle. Typically, persuasion makes no concessions and requires pure finesse. Imagine negotiating with a car salesman at the end of the month. You may not be under pressure to buy today, but the salesman may not get his monthly bonus unless he sells you that car today. The best thing you can do in this example is to slow things down. If you are calm, deliberate, and patient, the salesman will likely give you a much greater deal than if you had pushed hard immediately. So if you want to learn how to persuade people, you need to understand what makes people influential. Hopefully our discussion today has given you some strategies to become a naturally influential person. It all starts at a conscious level, but the more you put these strategies in action, the more they become a part of who you are. With that said, thank you for watching and see you in the next one.